excited when I see reading my for famous. Oh my gosh, I'm going to slow it down a little bit. I'm going to calm down a little bit as we just breeze through the first 20 seconds of the video like it was nothing. Now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to be teaching you guys a little bit about the units, what the units are for, the different types, how to use them, you know what I'm talking about. Then we're going to be going into the defense weapons. We're also going to be going into the investment. What kind of investments should I be using if I'm going to be an offensive player? What kind of investments should I be using if I'm going to be a defensive player? What's the difference between being a defensive player and an offensive player? What's the difference between an offensive, defensive, and a support player? Is there such thing as a support player? These questions and much more will not be answered here. The only thing I'm going to show you is how to use these things. So without any further ado, here we go. Now, each building has two types of units. We'll call these classes. Each class has two types of units. We got the armed carrier and the assault vehicle for the vehicle class. Now, the armed carrier has a high defense. It has a defense bonus when attacking a base. And it also has a high amount of capacity, which basically means that it can carry a lot more stuff than the average unit, including the truck or the assault vehicle. The assault vehicle, on the other hand, has a high attack power, but low attack speed. It increases the range of attack, and it also gets an attack bonus when attacking an enemy turf. That means that when you're attacking an enemy turf, you want to have these two units in there for sure. You could split them up or practice with the numbers as you wish, but you definitely want to practice having these inside your crews when you are attacking a turf, especially if you want to have resources from it. Okay, shooters. So here's the thing. Okay, you got your gunners, you got your snipers. I need to emphasize now that snipers are only good for defense. Say it with me. Snipers are only good for defense. Snipers are only good for what? Okay, and what are snipers good for? Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and go back to our gunners. That's all you need to know about the snipers. You don't need to know anything else. The gunners are well-rounded. They have a nice attack speed. They get nice little perks or bonuses, if you will, that keep them flexible for really any job you want them for. That being said, you kind of want to think about their abilities and how you're going to use them beforehand, just like any other unit. Just because having a fast attack speed is nice doesn't mean you need it or even want it every single time. If I would do it, I'd probably use the gunners in conjunction with the assault vehicles. But again, keep the snipers at your base. Okay, keep your snipers at your base. Snipers are only good for defense. Next, we got our bikers. Now, there's two types of bikers, okay? You got your assaulters and your riders, okay? Now, the riders and the assaulters are basically the same thing with one main difference, and that's that the assaulters are good for attacking resource tiles, and the bikers have a chance of dodging. If I were you, I would use the bikers for, I would say I would use the riders for when you're using the random teleport or something like that, attacking small, weak bases, so that you can get there and back without taking up too much time. You won't have heavy losses because they will not have many troops. Whereas these particular ladies, I would use the assaulters for going into resource tiles, since that's what they get their boost from. They won't actually increase, or I should say, they won't actually decrease unless you put them by themselves. So keep that in mind. All right, so you have next the bulkers. Okay, you got your combaters, and then you got your tankers. Now, the tankers, as the name implies, have a high defense. They have a high health. That's two of their skills right off the bat. Their third skill is basically the ability to nullify anything that anyone in the shooter class does. It won't completely stop all their damage, but it will help a lot. It'll greatly reduce their damage to your team. The combaters, on the other hand, give a attack bonus to all bulkers that includes tankers if they're in the same crew as them. So you send some combaters and some tankers in with whatever mix in your crew, and you're going to be solid on your defense, and these guys are going to have an added attack bonus. I would use them for basically defending your base, reinforcing your teammate, or sending them to tiles to add for defense, or like these guys right here, add some attack. Okay, these guys are pretty well rounded. They have a high attack, but their defense is lower and health is lower in comparison with the tankers. These guys stop the bikes like they were playing baseball. All right. Put these in with your resource tiles whenever you're going to rob resources. Okay, next up is defense weapons. And in defense weapons, you have three types of defense weapons. You got grenades, you got caltrops, and then you got fire bombs. Now, the thing to note is down here, you can see just how powerful they are and what the effect is of the item that you're choosing, the weapon that you're choosing. So these ones are good against bulkers. The caltrops would be good against bikers, and the fire bombs would be good against shooters. Um, they don't have anything for the assault vehicles, or I'm sorry, the vehicles in general, which is an added bonus because on top of the vehicles given perks, they also have the ability to go right past the enemy's fucking defenses because they don't have any traps for them. So it's another good reason to put your vehicles in when you're attacking a turf. That being said, that's really all there is on defense weapons. Diversify. That's all I could say. Diversify. Come up with your own strategy in building defenses. If a particular clan is constantly attacking you and constantly using, I don't know, bulkers, then put some grenades in, etc. So that's pretty much all I got for you, 140. Shadana, shadana. She wants us to focus on teaching you guys how to do some attacking. So, next video, I'm going to be teaching you a little bit about the investments, how it works. Same thing with the equipment. But we're going to be focusing on the things that will help those who want to do more attacking. And then in another video, I will show you those of you who find more interest in supporting or defending. Those are also major roles that nobody really wants to ever play because they can get boring sometimes. That being said, all I got for you guys is to have fun and happy hunting. Sha sha na na sha na 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 sha na na.